Welcome back to the Four Rings Inn for another episode of City of Shadows. We are back late in the evening of the 10th of Asha, just as the midnight bells ring and bring us into the 11th. As Sterling, you have begun to tail Casdeth through the night for a second night in a row for you of tailing Tyrvals out of their manor. As Sterling creeps through the city once more under the cover of night, are you ready for a scary story?
Ooh.
Sterling, can you make a stealth check as you creep through the streets of Avondale Hill once more?
With advantage because it's dark?
Yeah, with advantage because it's dark.
It actually wasn't that bad of a roll either.
Yeah. You gotta fight for advantage whenever
Never
you can.
mind. Oh, right. Yeah. What is a stealth?
Yes.
That's an IKEA 20.
Was that your first roll?
It was just a 20.
Not need the advantage. I thought the dice was on a 4 and it was on a 14.
That's a lot better.
And then you have a +6.
Oh,
That's
so
21.
it's a 21. I just
Excellent.
can't do math.
It's even higher. Perfect. You are one with the shadows. It's like you've done this before. As you follow Casdeth, you see every once in a while he'll stop at an intersection and kind of peek around to see if there's anyone else kind of looming the streets, but not nearly perceptive enough to spot you. He makes his way through Avondale Hill, over the Serpentine River, and crosses it back into Etherly. Oh, no, excuse me, you came from you crosses into Thornley. Excuse me. As he moves, he changes his direction, begins to move down the river, following the snaking waters, until he begins to approach a dark building. A building that's clearly used during the day, but is, closed and locked up at night. And you watch as he approaches and moves to an unlocked door in the Wane and Waxen, which you have heard from little talks that you've had from people around town, is one of the milk houses in the city, the spas. And you see he kind of creeps into a unlocked door. Can you make a perception check?
You're going to spy my little brother going to the spa?
It's cocked. Oh. It was
a little weird.
First a nat 20 or a 2. Now it's a 3, so that's a 10.
A 10. On a 10, you notice that in the daytime, when you were here for your date, there were steam coming out of some of the vents and the chimney-like structures of this building as things like everything was being heated. There is no steam coming out of it now. It seems like the building is dormant, but Casdeth has entered.
Are there windows around?
Yeah, sure.
Somewhere that I can try to creep up closer and see in without entering?
Yeah, absolutely. You creep around and make one more perception check. As you creep to one of the windows, there are two main sides of this building. One of them, facing the water, has this huge water wheel that is turning, and you figure probably supports whatever heating mechanism is used for the baths. The other side has big plated glass windows. That way sun can get in, although usually during the day it's all steamed up from the milk, but still to let some natural light in. You come in. What was your perception check?
Dirty 20.
Ooh.
And I'll get like as close as I can to make that like feel right, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. You look in with no fog steaming up the glass. You can see into the baths. You're able to get an angle that you aren't obscured by like the privateness of the individual baths, and you see Casdeth creeping through the dark, a candle in hand, comes up and meets 3 or 4 other figures. They seem to like kind of laugh jovially, say like greet him warmly, motion him downstairs, and as he moves beneath the main baths to like a lower level, you, following off your 21 stealth, kind of duck away from the window again as you see 2 more people come and approach the front door. You see they knock this time. One of the candles from inside bobs through the window, approaches the door, and you can make out them go, "Hi, we're new here. We're here for the discussions. Is it still open to anybody?" And you hear the person on the inside go, "Of course. We can. New bodies are always welcome," and motion them to come inside. And you see these 2 other people come in and walk downstairs.
After a pause,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say it, but I feel like it's fall, it's cold time. I feel like I would have a cloak on me.
Oh, 100%, for sure.
So, kind of like trying to put it up a little bit to make myself look a little less noticeable.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least like I'm just some random bitch. You know what I mean? But I don't want it to, like, I want to like kind of cover the blonde a little bit. So it looks like it's more of like an obscure figure, and you can't be like, "Hey, this person's got bright blonde hair."
Yeah, absolutely.
After a pause, I will also go up and knock.
Yeah, absolutely. You see a medium-aged human holding a candle, kind of peeks the door open, and goes, "Yes, can I help you?"
Hello. I was told about discussions. Is it all right?
Yes. Are you a new? Have you been here before? Are you new?
No, I haven't.
Excellent. We love to have new thoughts and opinions to come join us. Absolutely. Come in, please. And you see he opens the door. He's going to hand you an unlit candle. He'll light it with yours and pass it to you. Go,
Thank
come
you.
follow me downstairs. And begins to walk through the milk house.
Sterling found a new cult.
It's my turn to join a cult.
Everybody gets their chance. He begins to walk you downstairs. He introduces himself as Thalomir Greypaw, and says, "Hi, yes, I'm Thalomir Greypaw. We've been running this. It's really a discussion of ideas. Really, I don't know what you've been told, but we've been gaining quite a bit of traction since the beginning of the month. It's so nice to see new faces here." And he walks you downstairs, and you make your way kind of through the inner workings of the milk house, through like these huge like carven pillars that look like between the rotating water wheel and some kind of most like divine magic going on down here.
Mm-hmm.
During the day would blast heat up into the rest of the baths. He moves you through these inner workings to a old wooden door, creaks the door open, and welcomes you inside a room that you can see an old stone is called the Oratorium. And as he ushers you in, you are greeted by a circular room of ancient clay lit by a handful of torches, now with probably like between 20 and 30 people are kind of bustling around and chatting with each other. The room is warmly lit. The orange clay holds a lot of the light in as these big brown and green cloths drape down from the ceiling. The walls are all embedded with hundreds of skulls, both human and animal, all of their mouths hanging open. And you see all of these people dressed very plainly are kind of in here and having a discussion. As you come in, you see Thalamir waits a couple minutes before calling the room to attention. As he does, Sterling, can you make a gossip check as you kind of look around just to see if you recognize any people here?
Yes. And I would like to take a seat towards the back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Gossip. That is 11.
An 11. On an 11, you don't recognize anybody of too high of status. You do recognize Casdeth, who is here and is participating. Another person that catches your eye is you see one of the new people to come in is an elven man, long brown hair. What makes him particularly noticeable is he has burn marks on the side of one face, and he is missing 2 fingers on his left hand. And you kind of you see Casdeth, you kind of look around, you don't really notice any other nobles, and you see this kind of rough looking elf.
Okay.
Thalamir begins to speak to the room and says, "Greetings, everyone. Thank you for attending the oratorium tonight. It is essential that we have these discussions, these philosophical talks, as so much of our city is restricted by the pristine, told what we're supposed to hear, thinking what we're told to think. These discussions must be open and we must be open to each other." I am so excited to announce that we have a couple of new initiates tonight. For the newcomers, we have a tradition, nothing extreme, but as a new member to the oratorium, we ask that you present an opinion of yours, something not regulated by the propaganda of the pristine, an original thought to contribute to the group. And he kind of motions for you and the 2 other, Sterling, you and the 2 other people to kind of come up and just present an opinion to the room. Sterling, would you like to volunteer to go first, or do you want to wait and see? I figured as much. You see these 2 people come in. They step up. The first woman seems excited to speak. And she goes, "Hi, everybody. My name is Anastasia Howell. This is my first time tonight, obviously. An opinion. I'll just say it. I believe the war in the South is not being fought for the Queen. I believe it's entirely for the Pristine's gain." And you hear kind of like a murmur go around the room. The Valiant could harass troops all along the Oakwind. They could draw a comparable amount of attention from Moss and Ashford without requiring every soul of the Valiant to leave the city. But the Pristine chose to assault Drayden's Academy. They want to claim the land of Moss. This is not for the Queen. This is for them, for their gain. Maybe even for the Viscounts to move out of the city. This is not to benefit us. This is going to hurt us. And you see like a murmur go around, and like a faint, like, you know, a golf clap comes in through across the room. Yeah. Greypaw like gives her a indication that she's done very well. She smiles and kind of sits back down. You see the next person stands up. This elf with a burned face, missing a couple fingers. Greetings. My name is Hamble Venor. If I have any opinion, it's that there's no such thing as selflessness in this God's forsaken city. The only thing anybody cares about is themselves. And we will lie, cheat, and steal to get what we want. Anybody who believes there are people willing to help a fellow mortal is a fool. And they can walk right into Veremore for all I care. And you see there's like a serious mood shift after his speech. And then a faint golf clap goes out again as Hamble sits back down. Valamir looks to you, Sterling, and goes, Come on.
Hello, I'm Melanie Way, and, well, I think that there's just something utterly corrupt and horrible about the Ashen Order.
Did you clap for yourself?
Yeah. A clap goes out. You see, unless there's anything else Sterling would like to present on that.
No, but I don't want to look at Casdeth right away, because I don't want him, like, if I look at him, it's almost like confirming who I am. I do want to get a vibe check of the room.
Yeah, absolutely. Make an insight check.
You should have used a wolf-based fake name, because everyone else seems to be.
What?
You know.
Greypaw, Howl.
Oh, Howl. Yeah.
Also a dirty 20.
A dirty 20. You look around the room. You see an overwhelming support for that sentiment. You see that it's not necessarily that they hate the Ashen Order as it stands, but you can see that there is a real fear of what the Ashen Order can do. There is a real concern on whether or not they're acting for the right reasons, and they're like, I say even after you sit back down, that comment spurs an immediate discussion throughout the room as people start talking about what, like, the ideas of taking priests and putting them in armor, and like what's the morality behind that. And people counter and say that we've had divine casters in the Valiant for as long as Calidor has existed. And then people retort and say, how is that any different from the mages of Drayden's Academy? Or how is that any different from the battles that occurred against the Moors in the Veremore? And so discussions around, and then of the abuse of power of the Ashen Order, and kind of how that relates to the war down south, and kind of ties the discussion together. And you see, yes, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No.
What if these discussions have broken out after like a good pause, like longer than normal people would wait, I'd say, then I want to vibe check. I want to look in Casdeth's area and just see if I can see him like out of the corner of my eye to see if he recognized me.
Yeah, make another insight check.
Okay. Oh no. 7.
How'd you do? A 7? You can't tell if he recognized you, but you can tell from looking over at him that this is his happy place. Like, he is having like debates with people. He seems to be on cloud 9. He doesn't even seem to kind of be looking your way. He's talking to people next to him. He's talking to people across the room. Like, he has a vibe about him that you've never seen on Casdeth in the 3 days that you've been in Tyrval Manor. And you wouldn't put it past him.
You should feel guilty, Renshor. You should look down.
But you can't tell if he recognized you, but you can tell that he, like, this is the bee's knees for him.
Yeah.
This is his thing. Yeah, you see the discussions kind of continue throughout the night. These people will stay here for about 2 hours later into the night, and around as the bells across the city toll 2, you see they kind of wrap up their discussions, and you're like, well, there's a busy day tomorrow. We must not be let our late night discussions impact the hard work we do for the city in the morning. We will meet again this time next week. Once again, it is a pleasure having all of you here. If you know like-minded people or people with differing opinions that are open-minded enough to share, please invite your friends. Invite people that will contribute to a lively discussion. Thank you all once again for coming. Have a safe night back to your homes. And the oratorium is dismissed. Sterling, would you like to do anything before heading back to Tyrval Manor?
No.
Perfect. Everyone kind of leaves and begins to disperse back. Are you specifically tailing Casdeth back to the house, or are you going to kind of make your own way back to Tyrval Manor?
I think I'll just go a different way.
Perfect.
I mean, probably still, I'm not going to go super out of my way, but...
Yeah. Just not walk at his heels all the way
yeah.
back. Yeah. You take a slightly different path to get home. And as you're going this way, can you make one more perception check?
19.
19. You're out of the corner of your eye, as you come down one of the alley, you catch a bunch of torches moving, and you turn your head, and you're coming to an intersection, and a good 100, 200 feet down one of these streets, you see there are 4 cloaks of the Ashen Order, who are kind of, they're looking at what looks to be like an abandoned house, almost like a warehouse. It looks like it's been boarded up. You see they're kind of shouting to each other. They're pointing at the house. One of them nods. You see they all draw weapons. One of them goes and pulls one of the wooden planks off the door. Mm-hmm. And as soon as the plank comes off the door, poof, the door slams open. And you watch come tumbling out of the house, more aggressively, more scurrying out of the house, is squeezing out the door, is lit up by the torchlight, essentially a 10-foot spider with a huge thorax, long gangly limbs. The only thing to tell you this isn't a normal 10-foot tall spider is the head of the spider is not nearly as arachnid as it should be. It looks like a graying human face has been pushed into the spider's body, completely bald, mandibles like not growing, but almost like bursting out of the neck. And instead of just 2 eyes, 6 yellow glowing pupils open up down the face as this writhing spider arachnid body tumbles out. You watch one of its legs pierces straight through one of these cloaks and then tosses them across the street. The street erupts in a battle as these cloaks begin to do battle with this giant spider that is like swinging around. It begins to screech into the night, and it sounds like a human screaming as like its mandibles chitter. What would Sterling like to do at this intersection? Again, you're 200 feet away from this encounter that you just watch burst out.
Fuck this city. I'd like to watch.
Absolutely. You watch as these cloaks begin to do their best to fight the spider. One of them is able to cut off a limb of the spider as another one of its legs pierces through the cloak's leg, bringing them down like prone onto the ground. The other 2 begin to cast some spells towards it, like some kind of fire-based spell at it. The spider chitters and screams, like moves up onto one of the walls and begins to like almost attempt to wrap the one that's prone up on the ground with webs, and begins to like drag him up the wall as well. Yes, go ahead.
Does this feel Ketter's adjacent in like person mutated, or more depraved adjacent?
Make a nature check.
Honestly, I think this is just a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Ooh, nat 20. So that is a 25 nature check.
Oh my god.
Unless something else would do me better.
No, I think nature's fine.
It's gonna do better than a nat 20. Well, I only got a +5 on nature, and if he was like, actually make this check, then I have a 7. I'm getting close to 30.
No, I think on a nat 20 and a 25, I think from like some books that you've read while in your home in the South, some like legends you've heard about the places up, the Vermore and Thalia, you recognize this horror as like from campfire tales that people would tell to scare children. This is a known depraved. This is something that they have encountered in the forest before. It's not particularly common, not nearly as common as like a cabum would be, but they have been encountered before. They're like kind of known to like stalk in caves or in the deep parts of the forest, and like
now houses.
Not in now houses, and like snatch people up and eat people and all that stuff. But this is a like full, like, as documented as a depraved as you can get, I guess. Okay. As you see this battle not necessarily going the cloak's way, you can make any kind of action or bonus action or any kind of thing you would like on your turn, but I do need you to make a perception check.
And I'm like fairly hidden, right?
Yeah, they're so encountered in this. Even if they were to look around, you're like 200 feet away at a street corner.
17.
A 17. You are watching this encounter and watching this depraved really just go to town on these few cloaks. They're putting up a fight, not necessarily a good fight. And fortunately, you're not completely locked into this, because you hear another noise coming from the path you were traveling. And you turn and look, and a good 1,000 feet down the street, coming over the bridge from the Serpentine, coming from like Darlington.
Mm-hmm.
You see a horse comes galloping over the bridge. Atop the horse is a hooded rider, thick, heavy beard, a heavy crossbow in one hand. Each bolt slated into it blaze with a brilliant blue flame. You can see the leather armor of the rider has blue symbols of the Ascended, a radiant magic around them, as Templar Mozark, the Bloodhound, comes tearing over the bridge, with, in close pursuit, the huge white wolfhound tailing him behind. Woof, 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 and they are running directly for you. Granted, probably to get to the battle that you're seeing, but you are directly between their path to get to this, and yeah, you're on their path, and you see them flying towards you.
And there's no like do I see anywhere like way I can duck out of the way?
Yeah, absolutely. If you move a little bit, you can definitely get to a side street or a different intersection before they reach here.
Okay, then yeah, I want to disappear as much as I can. I do not want to be even a little bit in this guy's sight.
Yeah, absolutely. Make a stealth check.
16.
A 16. You watch as you kind of duck around the corner. You get to like a side street, and you watch the horse rip past, and you hear the horse rip around the corner, and then shouts as the Templar joins the fray. Immediately after the horse rips through, the scraping of claws on stone as that white wolfhound comes to a halt in the middle of the street. And starts to sniff around. You can make either another stealth check or take another action, as this wolf has caught something.
This dog doesn't have better things to do.
I'm just on the street. I'm gonna make another stealth check.
Okay.
Okay, that's not bad. I mean that's good, but I don't know what this dog has. Math. 17 plus 7, 24.
You see the dog, and then a shout from the Templar, "Yeti, to me!" And then it rips down the street, around the corner, and you hear the scream of that depraved echo out into the night again, as those two make do with the depraved. But you are now in the clear.
I really hate this city. And I'm gonna go home.
Yeah. Sterling successfully makes it back to Tyrval Manor, unimpeded. Only home by like 3 a.m. It's not so bad.
Easy.
Two nights in a row. Yeah. And the sun, as after you return, you successfully make it back into the manor. You find Casdeth already has slipped back into his room, and eventually, in just too short of hours, morning comes and finds Tyrval Manor. As we shift to the morning of the 11th, let's start at the top real quick, at the top of my screen. That is, Orianna, where where do we find you? What do we find you doing on the morning of the 11th?
Yesterday, right, was the day that everyone came to visit me at Chemet's office.
Yes.
I spent the rest of the day probably at his office or with Elda, whatever she was doing for the day. And then probably later that night, I had gone back to Brighthold Barracks, back to the Ashen Order. And so this morning, waking up at the barracks, I would like to write up a letter using Ashen Order stationery for Count Watlyn.
Ooh.
Yes. I would like to write Count Watlyn. I humbly request to organize a meeting in regards to the Ashen Order and current affairs -OL, cloak. Excellent. And nothing more. Just write that up, put the Ashen Order seal on it, and send it out.
Excellent. That letter goes with the post and heads to the Watlyn estate.
And that's really it. I think I'm just going to go about the rest of my morning as usual. Go out early morning before the sun's up, training with the other cloaks, going through the normal routine, having breakfast with them, any morning meetings that I'm being called into about the day, and just busy work, I guess, kind of waiting to hear back from the Watlyns.
Perfect.
That's it.
Cool. Your letter goes out. You spend your morning with the cloaks. Renshor, how do we find you?
Renshor is up before presumably Sterling and Casdeth.
Probably.
He is just kind of studying through his papers, looking for any more signs about the helmet in his grandsire's journal. He knows it's been referenced a couple times, but he's just kind of reading through, seeing if there's anything he missed before.
Yeah. Make a intelligence check as you're going through, just looking through the journal.
You don't have to give me anything. That's just what he's doing.
All right, then I won't give you anything. Okay.
The GM offers information. Player declines.
Denied.
He's like, Grinch's not doing a good job, but he's looking at that. Cool. Yeah, you sift through the journal and with a focus on the helmet for sure. Spend some time studying. Before we get back to Orianna and your letter, Sterling, when you do arise, is there anything in particular that you would like to accomplish today?
Not right now. Maybe sleep in.
That's the beauty of being nobles. You don't have to. Every day doesn't have to be the most productive day. Sometimes you can just relax. Perfect. You have an easy morning. Take it easy. Are treated by the Tyrval staff. Orianna, by noon, you do receive a letter back from the Watlyns.
Oh, good.
Wow.
The letter is clearly not handwritten. It is clearly something that is stamped onto a page to be replicated easily. And the letter states, the Watlyn estate regrets to inform you that the Count and his cadre will be unable to fulfill your request. The Count and his cadre are most unfortunately preoccupied with critical pristine matters. The Count and his cadre will reach out to you when there is an availability in their schedule. The Watlyn estate.
That makes sense.
Figured as much. It was worth a shot.
I was shocked he got a reply, but apparently they have this giant stamp. Just like, bonk.
So I am going to have to do this the hard way then. And
murder. What?
Nope. Not today. We'll save that for another night.
Dang it.
Then after I receive that letter, I would like to then spend my day kind of staking out the Watlyn house. I don't want to stand like directly outside where I can get caught, but I'd like to be relatively nearby and kind of watch the servants as they come and go, kind of their patterns, their routines, what they're doing. And I'd like to wait for an opportunity that there's like a lone guard that's either just leaving or just coming back, or maybe the post that is just leaving or just arriving. Someone who works for the Watlyns that's alone outside of the manor gates, which I know isn't often because the Watlyns are extremely secretive with everything that they do, and I'm sure their guards are as well. But someone's got to leave that house eventually. And I'll spend all day watching it, and if it doesn't happen today, then I will certainly be here tomorrow.
Okay. Make a perception check.
That's not bad. What's my perception? 21.
Okay.
This is some high rolls. Everybody's not so bad. 25. Oh, not so bad. IKEA 20. Yeah, I think you stake out for a little bit. You're there for like most of the afternoon. But before like evening really sets in, you watch as a grocery delivery comes to the Watlyn estate. And one of the servants comes out and comes through to inspect the delivery. And so they open up the wagon, they're going through, they're making sure everything's accounted for. You see they're checking to see if anything's being smuggled into the estate. Like it's a thorough check on just the food coming into the Watlyn estate. But you see that they come out of the estate, they're working around the wagon, it's not in the street, it's on their estate, but they're outside and they're closer to the fence.
Gotcha.
You're within 200 feet of my house, you're not going to say hi?
I mean, it sounds like, so this is the opportunity that I'm seeing, that this guy is pretty much alone. There's no other Watlyn servants with him.
This is the best
yeah.
chance that you've had today.
Yeah. I'll take it. You're giving it to me. I'll take the opportunity. I would like to walk up to this guy. You got female? Male?
This is a male. To paint your picture as best, just in case you try something crazy. You Maybe. See they are currently the only servant in this little courtyard that they're working at. There are guards to the actual wall of the Watlyn estate. So there are guards within reaction distance, but not hovering over this guy as he checks. And then there's the wagon driver is nearby and still present. So you have that's kind of who's around. You're not completely alone, but this is the only servant here.
All right. I'm not doing anything crazy, so I'm just gonna walk up to the guy and very casually be like, "Excuse me, I'm curious. I just have a couple questions," and kind of wrap my arm around his shoulder and kind of walk with him, kind of pulling him towards the other side of the carriage. Then, so we're not immediately in front of the manor, so that I mean, we're still within distance of all the guards and the carriage driver's right there, but just walking around the carriage. I'm just curious. Do the Watlyns treat you well? Do they pay you well?
You see this kind of scrawny, definitely an older servant, turns to you and say, "Oh, Cloak, the Watlyns treated their servants with much benefactory. Why would a cloak of the Ashen Order ask such a question?
Well, I know they're in some pretty unique businesses. And people are always spreading a lot of rumors about the house, and just wanted to make sure that their servants are also being taken care of, being associated with such house.
In what business is the working servants of the Watlyns to a cloak of the Ashen Order?
The Watlyns are doing some business with the Ashen Order, and I'd like to know who and what I'm dealing with. And I'd like to kind of palm him a dark emerald coin, like an Avon mark, which is, about $100 in our economy. Give that to him and be like, I'm just looking for some information. And there's plenty more where this came from. I can also offer a place where your skills can thrive and where you can be more accommodated should you like to leave the house. But I can offer you coin in exchange maybe for just some information on who our business partner may be.
Oh, squalid cloak. I do not want for marks like a peasant of the winding mire. And you see he flicks the Avon mark just onto the street, and it clatters across. We'll wait on that check for a moment. And he says, but the Watlyns grant generous boons to their servants who deal in information. If you can provide us with information, then we can maybe strike a deal.
Information in regards to what? What are you most interested in? Is this information for you or information for the Watlyn house?
I am a servant of Count Watlyn, an extension of the Count, per se.
Okay, and what kind of information would the Count want?
The Count has sought the completion of an impossible task. If you were to act in service of the Watlyn estate, I may be honor-bound to divulge some of the information that the Watlyns do not share as a fair price. You see the servant kind of grabs onto your cloak and pulls you in uncomfortably close to deliver this next bit of information. You can smell the onion or the vegetable in this man's breath. That's how close he's gonna get to you as he goes, just beyond the Gallatin Gate, hewn into the mountain stone, is a forge of Thornstrom. the Bell Maker. Alone there, he slaves away, his mad mind conjuring more than just bells of abundance. Within his restless workshop are his designs for such bells. My Lord Count wishes for the architect's machinations, and if you provide them to me, I will reward you handsomely.
Deal. And I go to shake his hand.
He'll shake your hand. As you shake, make a persuasion check. And I will preface this that if you have anything to add to it, this is an important persuasion check. This is the difference between him telling the Count that he was bribed and him keeping this between you and him.
22. This is a high rolling game.
This is a high rolling game.
Today.
I'm just not going to roll today. I think it'll be better.
Could have been nice when Orianna was dying, but it all
These
worked
would
out.
have been wonderful when I was dying. No, that's how the dice work. They give you really high rolls in the episodes where you don't really need them that much. It's okay. It's what the dice want.
You shake his hand and he goes, "What do you ask for in return?"
I am ultimately looking for motive on the Watlyn goals. I will be happy with any of the last correspondence between House Watlyn and a Templar, or any information on why they would like to enter the Vermore Woods, or any other weird information about the house that you could provide, with the ultimate goal of motive.
Okay.
Hard evidence would be best. A letter would be nice. But if you cannot conjure up such correspondence, then I will gladly still take whatever information you can provide.
You see his eyes kind of narrow as he tries to piece together what a cloak of the Ashen Order is. Why a cloak would ask such a thing. But you see he nods and says, "I will provide you with an appropriate reward for what you bring. And what you bring is significant. And I'll sweeten the deal with this. Your first piece of motive can be found with exactly what I have requested. The machinations of Thornstrom, the Bell Maker. Consider it a token of goodwill."
Yeah. And with that, I think I will just walk away from the cart, walk away from the man. Like, I'll give him a little nod.
Yeah.
And walk away, leaving that lone Avon mark in the middle of the street.
I was gonna ask, he absolutely watches to see if you pick it up.
No, I
Cool.
do not. I don't need to pick up money off the street.
Deal. I'm chuckling. I don't know if I ever played a D&D character that wouldn't pick up 100.
I know.
Mark on the street.
This is the first character I've played that I would not pick it up.
Sterling's
But also-
going for a walk later that day. Oh, nice.
Oh!
Now, if I did not make that deal with that guy, I would have absolutely picked it back up. But because I was like trying to feel confident and like put on a good face for this guy, I'm not going to just
pick
bend
it up.
over
Maybe.
and pick it up. Yeah,
I can't think of a D&D character. I can't think of a D&D character that I wouldn't have loot a body for pennies, let alone pass up $100.
No, the mortifying shame of like kneeling over and picking that coin up in front of the man. I wouldn't. I don't even like to tie my shoes around men.
No. If I was with the rest of the party and it was just the three of us hanging out somewhere, I'd absolutely pick it back up.
Yeah.
Not in front of this man. I'm not going to bend over. No, thank you.
Deal. He gives you like a very creepy like wave goodbye as he turns back towards the food cart. And as you depart from the Watlyn estate, we are going to take we're going to take a quick break and be right back for more City of Shadows.
Woo!
Hi, I'm John, and welcome back to Insight Check. I think we've already seen more death saving throws in these last few episodes than in all of Arc 1. The City of Shadows is only becoming more dangerous, and I am so excited to throw some new challenges at the storytellers. Encounter revolving around Renshor casting remove curse on Orianna was an incredible encounter completely suggested by Jake. And although I knew it wasn't going to work the way that he intended it to, I loved the idea of using Renshor casting remove curse as a storytelling tool to explain Orianna's curse in a completely new light. To build that encounter, I worked closely with Victoria, ensuring that the encounter would feel like it fit how she envisioned her backstory, as well as making sure she was comfortable with playing a monster in a PvP battle. I will say I did keep the specifics of her Gorgon form, those stats, a surprise for when the transformation actually took place, to still have something fun and exciting for her. The next day, the conversation in Chemet's office acted as a convenient and logical way to wrap up all the details surrounding Orianna's curse in her heart that we had saw the night previously, as well as giving the players a direction to move forward, talking about some of the leads that they had, what they could go out and discover. I am interested to see if Chemet will continue to serve as kind of a quest-giving NPC as we continue into the second arc of our campaign. Finally, we saw Renshor attend that pristine meeting with a foreboding message from the Grimwatch. The forest is closing in. It is only a matter of time until the horrors of Vermore are back on our storyteller's doorstep. This scary story has just begun. Now, let's answer some questions from our storytellers. First up, as we enter into the second arc, the players have a few different lead options to explore. The Watlyns in the woods, Father and Orianna's curse, and the clues being laid on the Ashen Order and High Priest Ilion. Which was the most exciting to build, and, if different, which are you most excited for the players to see? Ooh, that's a very good question. All of them are kind of unique, different paths to build as a GM. I think my favorite to build is probably the Watlyns in the woods. I really like the story that we collectively have built about these strange and reclusive counts, as well as the Vermore, so opportunistic for different encounters in a creepy Gothic horror forest. And it allows me to build a variety of homebrew monsters, the depraved. However, the most excited I am to see the players interact with is probably the Ashen Order, and as High Priest Ilion gains power in the city, I think those encounters in that side of the story is going to be most interesting, as our players have such an interesting relationship with the Ashen Order, them being kind of the embodiment of the law in Thalia right now is going to make their encounters very unique and not just a battle of hit points and damage, but make the players think about the decisions and make some very interesting choices in those encounters. And I'm so excited to see that come to fruition. Next question. You've said Eleanor instead of Sterling a couple times. I have done that. Is it weird having a new PC in a world built for Eleanor? Right off the bat, I wouldn't say that it's weird having a new NPC, or excuse me, a new PC. I think the new character that Aubrey has brought in, Sterling, fits with the themes of the campaign so well. She's creepy, she's intriguing, she's mysterious, and I think Sterling is definitely not a weird addition to the story. She feels very natural and a part of a Gothic horror campaign. What is interesting is the fact that the world has a lot of elements built for Eleanor, both because she was a PC and has a story laid out within the campaign, but also because Eleanor is a prominent figure in Thalia. She was a count heir. And so I think it will be very interesting to see how Eleanor's story reveals itself as the campaign goes on, and how our players kind of interact with those reveals and the mysteries that were originally meant for Eleanor that now come out to a new group of storytellers. I also keep saying Eleanor just because we've been saying her name for the past 20 or so episodes, and so it's a hard habit to break. Last question. Were you anticipating or excited for Renshor to leave the library with the tracked book, and how would that turn out? Good question. I don't know if I was necessarily anticipating Renshor leaving with the book. One, because I wasn't sure from the get-go if Renshor's plan was to steal the book or to copy over, as he ended up doing. And also, I know that both Renshor is a very intelligent character and Jake is a very intelligent player. And so I wouldn't be surprised when he eventually discovered the book had a tracker in it. If he did take the book home, how would that turn out? I think we would see the Ashen Order move in on House Tyrval faster than maybe were expecting them to. However, I don't want to get too much into detail. Templar Cofford still has plenty of schemes up his sleeve, and he's not quite done with Renshor yet. With that, I must keep the rest of my secrets to myself. Make sure you like and subscribe to know when new episodes come out as we explore deeper into this wonderful Gothic horror campaign that me and my friends have built. I hope you enjoy the horrors of this campaign as well as the mystery, the intrigue, and stay tuned as our storytellers both seek out the secrets that exist within the City of Shadows and also just try to survive a scary story. We return to City of Shadows as Orianna departs from the Watlyn estate. Where do you head to next?
Naturally, Tyrval Manor.
Thank you.
Where else would I go with my day?
Yeah, absolutely. When you arrive to Tyrval Manor, you see the servants already have a routine down where they kind of distract Arthas and then usher you in real quick without alerting everyone that a cloak has came unannounced to the manor.
The servants love me. It'll be fine.
And they're able to get you in. And somebody comes and finds you, Renshor, and lets you know that Orianna is here to see you. And I imagine, Sterling, you're just perceptive enough that nobody gets in and out of this house without you noticing anyway. So, yeah.
We probably were in the drawing room or something like that together. I feel like noble houses like this, there's only so much time you're allowed to spend in your bedroom before you just have to be
sitting in an open area.
Appearing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, people might be sneaking out of the house. Or sneaking into the house.
Or sneaking in.
The security on Tyrval Manor, not great.
We really should install
They have
trellis.
security.
Not great.
They're not fourth level like me.
That is true. They're CR 1/2.
Yeah.
Eleanor's were probably 1.
Yeah, at least. How tough is it to have a number associated with your people? Be like, hey, your guards are half of a challenge.
Shit.
I gotta
I'm gonna
pay
need
for better
80.
guards. Yeah, I gotta pay for better guards. But yeah, you find probably the other two, Orianna.
Yeah, I am still in my whole Ashnord uniform from the day. I came straight from Watlyn's house. Here, Renshor.
Orianna. Hi.
How are you?
Fantastic. How you doing?
As good as I can be. So I would like to ask a little favor, if you're up for it.
Sure.
I'm spent the day trying to get some information on the Watlyns, since they've been very sketchy with the whole Enlightened, and they're really trying to pick out the other Viscounts and Counts for magic and the whole journey into the Vermore Woods. I'm trying to get information on them, and the only way I can do so is to go to Thornstrom's workshop. And
Where
I was
is
wondering
that?
if you... It is outside of the gate to the city. And I was wondering if you would come with me, if you're up for it. If not, I'm still gonna go. I was just letting you know my plan.
Sure.
I figured if I didn't let you know that I was going and didn't invite you, I didn't want you to get upset that I was doing it alone. But if you don't want to go, it's totally fine. I just trying to keep you up to date with.
It's outside of the
I have.
city in a not middle of the forest direction, right?
I think it's just outside of the Gallatin Gate.
Yeah, it's southern,
okay.
between the city and the mountain.
Okay. And that creepy old guy just will have information on the Watlyns?
No, he's the one who builds the bells.
Yeah.
And the Watlyn estate is looking for information about the bells. So information for information is kind of the hand I've been dealt right now.
Gotcha. So we have to steal stuff.
I tried to buy the information. It didn't work out so well. I also tried to offer employment. That didn't work out so well.
How would you employ people? Anyways, so
I would just safely get him from being a servant at one house to being a servant at another more reputable house if he didn't want to associate with the rumors and craziness of the Watlyns. But
I see.
He likes working there. He likes his job.
He likes his job.
Very weird. He likes his job.
You gotta find pride in what you do. So what we're doing, stealing from Thornstrom and delivering to Watlyn's?
That is my current plan, yes. Again, if you don't want to partake in this, that's fine. I just wanted to let you know.
I appreciate you letting me know. I'm just, and I'm sure you have this more planned out. I don't see how helping the Watlyns helps you.
Well, I don't know if I don't even know if it's going up to the Watlyns or just to the servant wanted the information.
The servant wants information on the bell guy.
Right. Listen,
are you sure you were talking to a servant?
It's the Watlyns. No. Honestly, no. This could have been Count Watlyn himself, and I don't even think I would recognize him. Not gonna lie.
Okay.
Sidebar, it was not.
So if we can get the information he's looking for on the bells, one, that would probably also help us. We can learn more about them. Obviously, there's something interesting enough that he also wants this information. And then he promised... And then he also promised to give me information on the Watlyns themselves. And so I think we benefit twice from it if the Watlyns benefit once. And I think that's worth it to me. I also have no other big leads to go off of. Yeah.
Yeah, I can appreciate that.
Unless you had any other ideas on how we should move forward with anything.
No, it seems like you got good information. They are interested in the bells, which means we should be interested in bells, and I honestly didn't even think about this guy before, so it's good. Good. Sure, we can go there and do something.
I mean, it's not like we haven't done this already before.
Sure.
The reliquary.
Do you remember how close that was? Twice?
But now we've had practice. I think we're getting rather good at it. Again,
yeah.
if you don't want to come, you don't have to come. I just... Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I can do that. When do you want to do that?
Maybe like tomorrow evening after the sun sets.
Okay. Did we want a third? And I'll look at Sterling, who's just been sitting here, I guess.
I've been like reading a book in a corner, and like there's been times where the page is just not turning. Like I'm not really trying to hide the fact that I was listening, but I'm just like reading my book.
Would she be able to help? If you think she would be an asset, then I'm all for all the help that we can get. But I mean, I don't want to put anyone else in danger. If I look over to her and back at you, if she doesn't want to be put in danger.
Here's
I'm not looking up from my book.
So, yeah.
Here's a question. At what point did you realize that Sterling was also at the temple last night? 2 nights ago. Because I didn't know until she fucking walked up to me. Which means that she can get around. And probably get in and get out.
Yeah, I don't think I knew she was there until after we had been ripped apart. It took a while.
Yeah, and I didn't ask her about it.
She could have just walked in.
Sure, she could have just walked into the temple and not been following us at 1 a.m. Absolutely. Or she could have been there for hours. I think...
Sterling. How interested are you in getting into some trouble with us?
Don't word it like that.
She's been listening the whole time. She knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Stealing?
No, who said anything
Borrowing.
Oh, because...
Although the last time we borrowed something, it never made it back.
I would come if we're stealing.
Oh, then we're stealing.
Oh, easy.
Oh, okay. That makes it easier. Yeah.
Well, I have nothing better planned. Also, your horrible whispers.
Do you think she heard about the sneaking?
I wasn't trying to hide it, so yes. She's also literally 3 feet away from us.
So tomorrow evening. Tonight?
Oh, did you say tomorrow?
Someone wasn't listening.
Why prolong?
Jake has been waiting years to say that. Just in real life, Jake has been waiting years. Had that one locked and loaded.
I merely thought that maybe is trying to give Renshor time to prepare or think about it or make sure that he actually wanted to attend, and give you time to make sure that you actually want to attend. But if everyone would rather go tonight and get it over with, then we can go tonight.
Nothing planned. I mean, this is my calendar. It's blank. I got nothing. I have nothing happening today. I'm actually free until the 15th, so any day works.
What's happening on the 15th?
We're going to... I don't know if you're going, but we're going to, I want to say quinceañera, but that's not it. Confirmation? We're going to some kind of religious ceremony.
Oh, I see what you're talking about.
We're going to the celebration of a graduation to Scion priesthood.
Shocking that you wouldn't be invited.
Yeah, I imagine you're going.
Yeah, Elda probably would have gotten the letter at our parents' house.
It's for Priscilla.
That might be the right name.
I think so. I mean, I can check too.
Jake has been known to just let names rip before.
I don't recognize that name, but in this moment, I will just trust him.
Peric.
I just wrote priesthood party, so...
Priesthood party!
I think it's Laurelyn Celasti.
The 15th to the
there
19th. An extended event.
Very nice. So I will come back here tonight. If you guys are up for it.
Tonight? I assume we all rested well last night, right? So it shouldn't be a problem if we're out late.
I mean, I never really sleep well, but...
I'm a sound sleeper.
I will be back tonight. Should I come here to the manor, or should we meet somewhere else?
Probably best if you didn't show up at night to the manor.
We could meet you at the bottom of the Nightingale Avenue.
Okay.
Because that gate's just right south of us, isn't it?
The Gallatin Gate?
Yeah,
I thought it was to the west.
No, it's like almost on your street.
Yeah.
Oh. I was thinking it was over towards the waterfalls for some reason.
We can meet you at the fork of the road.
Perfect.
Right by Ravenwell Prep. Not that I know that.
Right by the gate? How about we just meet at the gate?
I will meet you outside of the gate.
Is the gate going to be closed at night?
Is it illegal to travel in this city?
No, but...
After...
No, the gates probably remain open. They don't lock the city down every night.
Only the north one.
Yeah, only the north. The north one's barely ever open.
Okay.
I will meet you there after dark. Around maybe like 10 or 11 at night. Just bearing the new day.
Sterling's like, fuck. Another late night.
You know, the mages down south would plan their complicated situations around dawn. Is that something you've ever considered, Renshor?
Dawn? Why
My lord?
Dawn? Why
My
Dawn?
guy.
Your spells? Okay.
What about him?
I hate to tell you more than you already know. So 10 o'clock.
Do you know when they come back? Because I just know it's in the middle of the night sometime. No one actually... I have no official training.
Okay.
Do they come back at dawn?
Only the ones I've seen.
Oh, well, okay. So complicated situation at dawn? But then if it goes long, then it's light. Also, how is dawn defined? Is it like a navigational dawn?
When the sun comes over the horizon.
Whose horizon?
Your
I'm
horizon.
not a spellcaster.
Oh,
I'm not a mage.
I see. Oh, fantastic. So dawn maybe then. Or before dawn.
So, would you like to meet at a different time then?
10 works for me.
We could meet at like 3 a.m. And then about 3 hours, like if this takes 3 hours, then I get a second go of it, you know?
I like seeing Renshor get excited and happy in this moment because it isn't often that he has this big smile on his face talking about his siphon and 3 a.m. And I will agree to go at 3 a.m.
Splendid.
Orianna,
Thanks,
can you
Sterling.
make a wisdom saving throw for me?
7 plus whatever my wisdom is, and that's not going to be enough.
Yeah. As everyone agrees to this, Renshor and Sterling, you, with your passive perceptions, you kind of pick up an odd feeling as you were having this conversation and you guys all make the agreement to go and do this. There's suddenly the realization of, like, were we talking too loud? Like, did a servant come and drop off this tea while we were having this conversation? Who's been listening in this house to this conversation? And the sense of, also a question probably of, this person you do not know told Orianna to go to a dangerous place with the promise of knowledge in return, and just this seed of doubt is planted around the meeting as you come to the agreement to meet in the morning.
All right, so 3 a.m. That sounds great. I'll see you then, and I'm gonna try to slip out of the house without getting caught.
Yeah, absolutely. Make a
I
stealth
usually
check.
take the back door.
We really need to install a trellis. One on the second floor. You could just get in and out of it all you wanted.
Just straight in and out. Perfect. Stealth check for Orianna.
Have to do math. 23.
Okay. You successfully make it out of the manor as dinner time rolls around and kind of getting into the evening. What would you guys each like to do, if anything, to prepare for the event at 3 a.m., your heist?
I would like
Interesting question.
It doesn't have to be anything.
I think I spend a ridiculous amount of time in my room. And I'm just like looking between my 3 dresses. I have black, I have charcoal gray, and I have navy black. Which is best for stealing?
Perfect.
I am going to knock on Sterling's door.
My lord?
Hi. Yeah. You had information that I didn't know. Is there
Right.
is there anything more you know about that you could teach me?
What don't you know?
I don't know.
Well, how am I supposed to teach you what you don't know if you don't know what you don't know? How am I supposed to know what you don't know?
Do you know so much that you can't just recap it all?
The magical energy resets at dawn. If you have a particularly large sphere, it's called a siphon. And
I knew that.
you can cast more powerful magic against your own health.
Yeah, I knew that.
People learn the studies at an academy called Drayden Academy.
Oh, okay. Now we're getting more geographical. I did know this.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you. I'm sorry to take your time.
If I think of more.
Much appreciated. I'm really just self-taught off the ramblings of someone's personal journal. There's not really instructions.
Really? Whose? Can I see it?
It's my grandsire's. It's really personal. I'd maybe later. That's not another time.
We could go right now. It's just across the hall. Perhaps it would jog my memory. Of what?
I mean, I see no immediate reason why not. I'm just a little nervous about it. I've never shared it with anyone. I mean, it's barely ever left my room on the account of other people seeing.
But it's not really yours. It's your grandsire's, so...
Right.
It's been other places before. Likely been seen by others.
Sure, just not in a long time.
Okay.
I guess. I mean... I guess. Where would you like to meet to look at it?
Not a...
Do you want to just sit here in the hallway, or?
I could... It's across the hall, correct?
Right. But you can't just enter my bedchamber.
Right. Well, you could hand it to me, and I could look at it in my bedchamber, and then pass it back to you across your bedchamber.
I'd really rather be there while you're looking at it, just in case I see something new as well.
Would you like to come into my bedchamber?
I think that's more problematic, actually.
Okay. Didn't you take it to the temple last night? 2 nights ago?
Yeah, but there weren't my house servants walking around.
Right. So, perhaps later tonight, when the servants are asleep?
I was planning on being asleep. But sure.
Okay, goodbye.
Oh.
I'm just holding the door. If you want to say something, you've got like 5 seconds.
Okay, just
It's
let me know.
slowly closing.
Let me know when you'd like to do that.
Right. But not now.
Not.
Click.
I'll just turn around and go to my room, I guess. Get ready for bed.
Yeah, Renshor, the king of game. Yeah. It's so funny. As you leave Casdeth's old room, Sterling's now room, and head back to your room, Renshor.
I was just standing in the hallway. I would like to make that clear. I was just standing in the hall.
Oh,
okay.
yes.
You have to be in the hallway to get the door slammed in your face. It wasn't slammed. It was just shut in your face.
It was actually dramatically slowly shut. And like a
Yeah, that's so good. As you return to your room and you look back at your grandsire's journal and the notes that you have out, something does catch your eye. You look to your window, and on the outside, jammed into the windowsill, is a letter, once again with the Watlyn seal on it.
Do you have a terrace outside your window?
You're in trouble.
How am I going to open the window without this flying away?
Gotta be quick. It's like jammed into like the windowsill.
Do you have mage hand?
No.
Sorry.
Do you have anything useful? No.
Sorry. With the mage.
I guess I'll quickly. The window's open a lot, so I'll just quickly open and grab and shut it.
Yeah. You're able to open one of the panes, snag it, and then pull it back in.
Not a DC 20?
No, it's not a DC 20. I think Renshor can open a window. I feel confident he can open a window. DC 20 acrobatics check. Yeah, and you have this letter. Do you want to crack into it now?
I was really planning on going to bed. I guess I'll open it.
Yeah. You crack it open. There is only one thing in this envelope. It is a printed pamphlet for it's an advertisement for a band of bards called The Last Chance, who are performing at Archstone Ale in 1 hour. You see the pamphlet. Well, the pamphlet has been like going around the city, but you see they are playing at the Archstone Ale in an hour.
Archstone. Shit.
I was gonna write this down. There's no point. That's in an hour.
It's in an hour.
God. I guess it's
You're not getting any sleep tonight, my dude.
Mm-mm.
What do you need sleep for? You slept last night.
Apparently, I was the only one. Where is that? Where's the Archstone Ale?
The Archstone Ale is, I believe it's in New Elsport.
Makes sense.
In the Emerald Market?
Probably.
Yes.
It's the CD Magic one, right?
Yes, it is the Pro Magic Tavern.
This feels like a trap.
Wear the right cloak.
Which one's the right cloak? Okay.
I will say at this point, I know that you were like preparing to retire. It's probably not too long after dinner time when
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not.
I was just going to bed
leaving,
early.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm just saying, leaving the house now would not be like uncouth. It's not like sneaking out in the middle of the night. You don't have to sneak out of the house for this if you would like to attend.
Okay. Well, I'll take this flyer. Because, I don't know. Just in case. And I will knock on Sterling's door.
As you like go up to knock, you can hear me on the other side like humming. Yes, my lord. I thought we were leaving.
Yes, indeed. Unfortunately, for me, I have been invited to a suspicious gathering. If you would like to join me, it seems like it's open to the public. It's like it's a flyer.
Do you hold the flyer up when you do that?
Yeah.
Can I?
Oh, sure. There you go. It's a bar with a band, I think.
Okay. Would this work? And I'm wearing like the black dress, and it's probably got like a higher neck and stuff. It's a dress.
I would believe so. I wasn't planning on wearing anything special.
You're going to wear purple out. You know, black is a nice way to maintain shadows, and, well, a coat with your family's insignia on it is quite loud.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know if I own anything black, but I do got this nice gray I could put on. Right, did you want to come with me? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Oh. Okay. Well, I'll go change real quick, and then we can head out.
Okay, and are we taking the front door?
That I was planning on it, yeah.
Okay. And then I shut the door and I go and gather my things.
What things are you gathering?
My things.
Oh, okay.
Things to go out.
You know, the blueberries.
The blueberries.
Okay. And I will put on gray.
I'm just fucking with you because Renshor wears a bright purple jacket in the art, and I just wanted to mess with you.
Yeah, it worked out. I do have gray clothes. I mean, I'm not gonna go monochrome or anything, but I do have like a gray jacket I'll put on. And then I guess I'll just go wait by the front door.
While you're waiting, and like I wait like a minute, and then I step out from the shadows of the foyer. We ready?
Oh, you're right. Black does work. Okay. You'd think with your hair, anyways. I got us a carriage. It's on the other side of town, so we'll just.
Oh. The place, not the carriage. Right.
I called for the farthest carriage away to come pick us up.
I got us a carriage. We have to walk to the other side of town to get to it.
We're going to walk over there. It's going to take us half a street down, and then we're going to be there.
No. The carriage is out front. It's taking us to the other side of town.
Yes. And you have money, right?
Always. Yeah.
Perfect.
Perfect. That's important.
Also, okay, never mind. Yeah. Anyways, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. And I'll hold the door open for the carriage for you, because I guess the carriage guy didn't feel like doing so. Okay.
Wow. Carriage
Well,
guy.
no one's as good as Julius was, so.
No one's as good as Julius.
It's not because Renshor's being a gentleman, but because the carriage driver didn't get out fast enough.
Because the carriage just fucking didn't do it. Yeah,
They
my
fucking
bad.
suck.
That's my bad, everybody. That one's on me. The carriage takes you across town, a different route, Sterling, than the one you've been walking up and down a bunch recently.
This is much easier.
Yeah, you move through Darlington, across Etherley, and then into New Elsport, kind of making your way across town before the carriage is going to drop you off at the Emerald Market, and you guys just have to go a couple blocks down to get to the Archstone Ale. And as you arrive, Renshor, do you believe you've ever been to the Archstone Ale before?
I don't know why I would.
You would arrive to the Archstone Ale. You see that it is an old wooden building, one of the older taverns in town, and you can see not glowing, but like carved into the wooden frames of the house are runes. You can see like runes have been carved all in a cross. Possibly they were enchanted at one point in the Archstone Ale's history. Currently they are inert. You can see some of them have been scratched out and defaced. Some of them, you can see like some pieces of especially the exterior, have been vandalized or kicked in or broken, but the alehouse itself is still very much alive and operational as you come in, and you enter an alehouse entirely full of commoners. There is no viscounts, no siblings of viscounts, no family members of lords and ladies. This is a people's tavern. And you come in, make stealth checks from both of you just to avoid being like detected. I'll if you would also, instead of stealth, if you would rather make deception, you can do deception as well. Just to avoid coming across as nobility in a place of commoners.
Sterling, I believe we may have overdressed.
He comes in and turns to say that to me, and I'm gone. I rolled a 23, and I slipped. I came in directly behind him and then hugged like a wall shadow, and I'm sitting like 5 feet away at a booth already.
I believe I
got
overdressed.
In, sat down. He turned, overdressed. You see a bunch of heads turn and look at him, and like that's why you got away from him as soon as possible. Like the second you walked in, I almost imagined that Renshor like opened both doors with both hands, like made like an entrance for himself, and you immedily were like, "Oh, he did that wrong," and then got out of the way.
Not for me. No, I have my cloak up, and I'm like so much shorter than him that like I was perfectly behind him when the heads, and
I love Banjo Brothers. What's this band called? I should have wrote it down.
The band. You say I love the Banjo Brothers, who are not playing here tonight.
Is it the Band of Brothers? No, that's no.
It's called the Last Chance. Is the band that's going to be playing? And
we're not close.
Wait,
at all.
You know we're in like a Gothic horror campaign, not a Southern country. Like there's probably not a banjo here.
There's one guy way in the back that goes, "Woo!" When I love the Banjo Brothers. Woo! And the room is kind of just silent as you walk in, as all heads turn towards Renshor. Everyone's looking at you.
I'm going straight to the bar.
Cool. You move to the bar and you see discussions kind of pick back up again. As you come to the bar, you see the bartender like gives a chuckle as you come in. It's a younger looking tiefling, bright pink skin, short horns, turns to you and he goes, "Man, you know how to make an entrance, don't you?"
That seems to be the case.
Well, this is for you. And you see he takes a glass, pours a pint of ale into it. And you watch him pour it. And he says, "This is for you. I was worried I wasn't going to make an extra tip tonight, but you weren't hard to recognize." That's from the gentleman upstairs, and points to a loft on the second floor where you see a hooded figure is like sitting over the railing, also a mug in hand, and just gives you a cheers. And Sterling, I'm going to say you're not immediately involved in this conversation, but you're clocking this interaction.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Thank you. And I will give this person money, but an appropriate amount of money that's not ridiculous. I'll give him a jade mark.
Okay, yeah. You and this tiefling smiles and goes, 2 tips tonight. This is my night. And goes back to serving people. And you see the Archstone Ale kind of returns back to its normal state a little bit as the last chance begins to pick up, playing mostly violins, not banjos.
So close. And I'll take my drink up the very apparent stairs?
Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
Halfway on the stairs, I'll like kind of appear at your side, and I have like a half-drunk cup in my hand that I just swiped off a table, like someone else's.
Hi. Welcome back. God, you gotta stop doing that. What?
Should have worn black.
Should have worn black. I don't own a black jacket. The whole point of my entire persona is to stand out.
Yeah, you could slouch a little.
Oh, okay. Like this?
No.
Oh. Better?
Uh-huh.
Okay. How do you drink like this?
Okay. Well, you've already been spotted, so...
Okay, true. And I guess we're at the top of the stairs.
Yeah,
Have fun. And I'm not gonna like approach with him. I'll just stay like nearby because this is his meeting. I want to be witnessed.
Yeah, absolutely. You slip off. Give me one more stealth check, Sterling, since to specifically avoid the person that he's meeting with.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Perfect. You slip off to the side. You watch this hooded figure approach Renshor, kind of come up beside him and offer you a slender hand to take. They are going to grasp your hand, smooth, cold fingers touch your hand, and pull you kind of across the room as this hooded figure moves you to a booth on the side. Sterling, you watch. You have a full line of sight as you come over.
I'd like to trail just so I can stay within like a good amount of
like
action
earshot
economy distance away.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Action economy distance is excellent. I love that. You see the two of them slide down into a booth, and a higher pitched voice comes from beneath the cloak than you were expecting, Renshor. And the figure across from you, she goes, "Do you always play this hard to get?" And she will pull the hood off her head, and you see an elven woman, pitch black hair, pale white skin, looking significantly less tired than a few weeks ago when you let her out of the Temple of Orianna. And sitting across from you is May, the woman who ripped the page out of Eleanor's book.
I'm sorry, do I know you?
On that, we are going to end tonight's session of City of Shadow as she reveals her hood, and Renshor goes, "Do I know you?" Perfect. We will end tonight's session of City of Shadows, a meeting in the making for a couple days now. A figure revealed. Excellent. And Sterling, you're able to watch this whole thing unfold.
I'm just like third wheeling on their date, just like
yes, absolutely. Oh, perfect. Excellent. So much exciting things to come. This meeting with May again, a heist of Thornstroms, and dealing now more closely with the Watlyns than ever. So, if you are at the edge of your seat and must know how Renshor navigates a third woman in his life now, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel to keep up with new episodes as they come out. But until we meet again over another round at the Four Rings Inn.
Happy Valentine's Day!
Happy Valentine's Day!
Ooh.